We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today.
Mexico elect.
Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Mexico electing the first woman president and first Jewish president in its 200-year history. Claudia Sheinbaum, a close ally of Mexico's current president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, declaring victory overnight. The election also happening across the U.S., with 20 Mexican consulates allowing voters to cast ballots.
As a young adult, it is really exciting to come vote for my own country.
In Mexico, some voters waiting hours at polling locations.
I think it's a necessary change, and it's a good sign of progress as a society.
Sheinbaum is an academic who shared a Nobel Peace Prize for her work on climate change. And it's the growing power and violence of criminal organizations that are expected to be her greatest challenge. Hundreds have been killed at campaign events, including dozens of candidates. Mexico's drug cartels and gangs are thought to be behind the attacks.
20 years ago, Mexican drug cartels were just shipping drugs to the U.S. Now they are doing businesses locally and extorting people and government, so they need to have a political base, and elections are the opportunity to increase the control.
Criminal organizations are also profiting from the smuggling of migrants to the U.S., with thousands arriving daily through Mexico's southern border. The immigration crisis, a major issue for U.S. voters this November, and Sheinbaum will become America's crucial partner to avoid another surge at the border.
Wow, everybody, wow. And we have a past president that can't go to Mexico. True. Donald Trump, convicted felon, is not allowed to visit 37 countries. Mexico is one of them. So there's Mexico plowing ahead, and electing their first female president way ahead of the United States. And their first female president is Jewish. Mazel tov, muchachas. I'm so happy for you. This is a very formidable woman. Her name is Claudia Sheinbaum, who at first I thought was Howard's first wife, and then no, but she she got 58% of the vote. She is the former mayor of one of the largest cities in the Northern Hemisphere, Mexico City. She's also got a PhD in engineering, energy engineering specifically. She worked on the UN panel for climate change and won herself a Nobel Prize. And we're debating whether or not Donald Trump is electable. I mean, he can't even go there. He can't even visit. He can't. You know how many countries he can't go to? He can't go to Israel. He can't go to Mexico. He can't go to Australia. He can't go to Canada. Check that out. So Donald Trump can't go to a bed and breakfast in Vancouver, but Americans will trust him to be the leader of the free world. What? What a sick, twisted country we are becoming. Actually, we went there. If we go there again, it's done. It's off. All bets. I mean, it's like, okay, just hand the keys to Mexico. Let them build the wall. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the idea of her, the reason why she was so beloved and ready to serve, and 58% of the vote went to her, is because she is part of Obrador's new party, okay? Obrador literally changed poverty in Mexico for the better for millions of Mexicans, millions. He doubled the minimum wage. They did a lot of internal soul searching in Mexico. They did a lot of, poverty elimination, like we used to do, like the war on poverty kind of a thing. And she believes, and she's right, that if the economic situation in Mexico improves for people in Mexico, they won't want to trek through the desert with their tiny little children, praying that somebody left a bottle of water somewhere along the, right, and have to be hated in a country where they're not from. And she's right about that. And so congratulations to Claudia Sheinbaum, the first female president of Mexico, also a Jew-S. I love this. It's beautiful. Buena suerte, mamacita. Buena suerte. So that's like, but isn't it just the strangest point of irony where Donald Trump won the presidency screaming about criminals in Mexico, screaming about rapists, and they elect their first female Jewish president, and he, at this point, cannot even go to Mexico legally. He would be illegally in Mexico if he went there because he's a felon. I just want people to like process what I just said about Donald Trump's inability to visit various countries that need, us and our attention. It's just like, it's an amazing thing. All right, so the GOP, of course, is rallying around this convicted felon. They have decided that Trump's their guy, and they don't give a damn if he has a criminal record at all. He should still be elevated to getting, I don't know, classified briefings. What could go wrong? Now, listen, let's just say what this is. This trial that just ended, this one is the least dirty, the least offensive, the least criminal of all the criminal charges he's facing, right? I mean, this one had to do with, a cover-up of payments that he made in order to influence the election in his favor, and it violated state campaign finance laws, right? Because and federal too, because you can't give more than $2,700 as an individual in a presidential campaign. Okay, so there's that, and yes, it's not good. Okay, it's not, but is it more than a Class E, which is the lowest class of felony? No, it's a Class E felony. Is it a white-collar crime? It's a white-collar crime. I doubt any of you will ever have to grapple with covering up this kind of a campaign contribution that you paid to a hooker. Oh, I'm sorry, Stormy's not a hooker. The other one is. No, the other one was in love. She said she loved him. Karen McDougal, she loved him. Bad taste. That's what she's guilty of. I'm guilty of having bad taste. Okay, sue me. I think he's going to. But, yeah. So you have the lowest level of felony. You have a nonviolent felony, and you have a white-collar crime that no one's ever going to have to grapple with in this audience. I shouldn't say that. There might be some, people who run for office. I hope there are in this audience. That would be great. But the ones that he's facing, the ones yet to come, the ones that he keeps on delaying, the ones that, Aileen Cannon is literally risking her entire judicial career for, that has to do with classified documents. That has to do with the Espionage Act and violating it. The January 6th one, the one, in D.C. that's been delayed, that has to do with, attacking your own capital. So that would be, the Insurrection Act, okay? So those things really should call into question the GOP's love for him becoming not the president, but their nominee. Why? Why would that be? Because he gets briefings, classified ones, once he's the nominee of the party. How in the world can they say with a straight face or with, putting their hand over their heart when they pledge allegiance, or in Trump's case, he salutes when he hears Amazing Grace? I don't know. He's so confused. He's so completely unhinged and disheveled in his brain. Okay, he's a mess. He's an absolute mess. And they're rallying around him. Why? Tax cuts. I swear to God, that's how deep it goes with them. Every one of their donors, every one of their campaign coffer fillers wants the same thing. They all want tax cuts. They're hedge fund managers, they're billionaires, they're millionaires, they're CEOs. They want to remain, paying zero taxes for the rest of their days. They want the carried interest loophole. And I swear to God, they're willing to put a man who, if he's not elected, will face charges under the Espionage Act. And if he is elected, will not. They're perfectly fine with him getting classified briefings. This is how far down the road Republicans have gone. This is how far away from the concept, let alone the actual practice of law and order. This is how far away they've gone from that. Not even in the hemisphere. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to RandiRhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.